In so many lives and in so many ways, so much is happening because of you. And you matter so much in the lives of so many people. Your presence matters. Your prayers matter. Your worship matters. Your generosity matters. Your serving really matters. Your invitations to people. You invite people who are far from God to join the family of God, and that matters so much to so many people. And who you are really does matter, and what you do really does matter, and you matter so much more than you can possibly know. I have to tell you, and you have to believe me when I say how much is happening because of you. I'm reminded of you when I read the scriptures, and I look at 1 Thessalonians, and if you ever read that book of the Bible, Paul is writing to the Christians in Thessalonica. It's a big city in Greece, and he planted a church there and went away and wrote back, and he's always so encouraged by their faith and what's going on. They stay in that city, and they're impacting that city so much, and every time Paul hears about it and writes them, he's so encouraged by what they're doing and what's happening in and through them. Here's what he says. So we have been greatly encouraged in the midst of our troubles and suffering, dear brothers and sisters, because you have remained strong in your faith. You and I know there's suffering and pain in our world, right? He says so much is happening in spite of all that's going on. You and I know there's so much going on in the world. There's a lot of bad stuff going on. You just turn on the news or don't turn it on. But just believe me, there's so much going on out there, and it's bad. But you remain strong in faith, resilient, and you're here. You're stronger than ever, and I'm encouraged by you and your faith despite everything going on in this world. He goes on and says, it gives us new life to know that you are standing firm in the Lord. How we thank God for you. Because of you, we have great joy as we enter God's presence. Would everyone just repeat after me? Just say, because of me.
Because of me.
Some of you didn't say it. Because of me.
Because of me.
So much is happening because of you. Because of you, I have great joy. Your pastor, I have so much joy because of you. Also, your community has so much joy because of you. This is a better community with you in this place than without you in this place or without this place at all. And because of you, members of your family have great joy. Because of you, the people next to you and around you and surrounding you have so much joy. Would you just look at someone beside you and say this? Because of you, I have great joy. Look at the other person, your second choice, look at them. Say, because of you, I have great joy. So much is happening because of you. You bring great joy to so many people in this place and beyond. Because of you, we reach teenagers. We reach beyond the walls of this church into our community and reach teenagers for Jesus Christ. And some of these teenagers are far from God. We bring them into the family of God. You guys are a big part of that. We helped raise money for them. We sold a bunch of fireworks in the parking lot using our time and our property to raise money for students. Because of you, over 30 students got the opportunity to get away from their phones, just doom scrolling at home all summer. They got to go on a retreat. They got to be in the family of God. They got to make decisions for Christ, and it was awesome. Some of those students got the opportunity to leave an abusive household or a neglective household, and they're leaving that behind to get away and be with God and God's family. And that happens because of you. Because of you, 8 high schoolers got to graduate and celebrate their graduation in the house of God with the family of God, and that's a pretty cool opportunity for them to have because of you. Because of you, a crowd of teenagers gets to use an old movie theater as a youth room. Is this a cool room or what? Would this be an awesome youth room? It is an awesome youth room because of you. Every Wednesday night, teenagers come and gather, and you make that possible. And because of you, people belong to God's family. People belong because of you. Think about that. Right now we have 4 groups with 61 unique people in those groups. And in each group, people study the Word of God in circles, not in rows. It's a community. They belong. People pray for each other with hands on shoulders. They're praying and supporting each other, lifting each other up. People have group chats that spawn from these groups. They're encouraging each other and confessing and asking how we're doing, checking in. And because of you, people are real with each other. In these groups, nobody feels like they have to be perfect because they know it's not true. They're real, they're vulnerable, and you make that possible in so many lives. Between Thanksgiving and New Year's, our groups take a break for the holidays, and every Friday night in December, my kids were like, all right, Dad, it's group night. I can't wait to get there. And I'd say, kiddo, there is no group tonight. Why not? I said, well, it's the holidays. The groups are taking a break for the holidays. They said, why would they need to do that? Because you're a lot to deal with. I need a break from you in December, let alone them. So they're not hosting 52 weeks a year. That's just a lot. They host 30 a year, which is still a lot, but they need a break sometimes. And my kids are like, I still don't get it. Why wouldn't a group want to meet 52 times a year? It's so amazing. Why wouldn't they want to do that? And that's pretty cool when they just can't even see, like, why wouldn't you want to do this more and more often as possible? Why wouldn't you want to meet and gather? And the cool thing is that the kids love groups, and it's their favorite night of the week, and they're always begging for it, and they can't deal without it. They have a community that they belong to. They're pushing parents to get more faithful, to gather more, to pray more, and that was the dream, is that kids would do this, and kids are doing this because of you. Because of you, kids have a place where they belong as well, in groups and every night of the week. And because of you, people decide. People decide to make Jesus the Lord of their lives. They make decisions for Jesus because of you. When you came to this church, you decided to join a church that preaches the gospel, that is unashamed of the gospel, and that puts the good news of Jesus Christ out there and presses for people to decide on that each weekend. You joined a church that doesn't just teach for information, but preaches for transformation, and there's a difference there. And when you joined a church like this, you joined a church that calls people to respond, doesn't just call people to go home and think about it. That was a decision you made, and because of you, people are making decisions for Jesus. Because of you, 18 people indicated a decision for Jesus that we've counted in the last year. And is that good news, guys? This is great news. And it's because of you. At NewSpirit.Church, people decide for Jesus, to put him first in their lives. People decide to put Jesus at the center of their families. People decide to trust Jesus as their Lord and Savior because of you. And when you joined New Spirit, you became such a big part of what God is doing in this world and in this community around you. Lives are changed because of you. Also because of you, this room is full. And it was full last week too, and it's like that because you responded to God's call to join a healthy, Bible-believing, faithful church. That was a big step of faith on your part, and beyond that, you responded to God's call to reach out to other people and invite them to be in that family of God with you. And this is what happens when you're faithful in joining a good, solid church and then inviting. This is what happens, is it gets full. And you always know someone who needs this, and you invite someone who needs this, and I'm really glad you're doing that. That's what you're supposed to be doing. Because of you, we need to start a second service, and that's just where we're growing toward, and that's sort of the next direction for us, and it's all because of you that it's like this. And I'm not sure exactly when that happens, sometime this year, but as to specifically when, we're not sure yet. But I know for some of you, when I say that just produces some big feelings and maybe some fear. You're like, I don't want to lose my friends. What if they go to that one and I go to this one? What am I going to do? You're thinking, I'm going to miss seeing people that I know and love, and won't be the same. I joined this church because it was small, but now it's not small. Why can't I have the small church that I joined? I don't want a big church, and it just produces a lot of feelings for you. And I start talking about second services, but I want to do two things for you. First, I just want to reassure you. I hope this reassures you, but a healthy church is like a healthy plant. It grows. If you have a house plant that's not growing, it's probably dying or diseased or something. But when you have a church that's growing, it means it's healthy. It's like a plant, and that's a good thing. When your church is growing, you're in a healthy church because it's just like a plant. And the fact that your church needs to start another service, that means you're part of a healthy church. That's good news. Let that reassure your heart. And the fact that you're contributing to that growth and faith and all that God is doing, that's exciting. Wear that. That is so cool. Let that reassure you. I also want to reassure you that a healthy church, it's a mission. It's not a club, it's a mission, not a club. A club can be successful just by pleasing its members, pleasing the insiders. You don't have to do anything for anyone else, just please the people that come. That's a great club, but a mission is successful when it reaches more and more people with the good news of Jesus Christ. That's what makes a mission successful. And when a church is accomplishing that mission to reach more and more people, growth is what happens when you reach more and more people. It's like a plant. When it grows, it's healthy. The second thing I want to do for you is to just challenge you. Let me lovingly challenge you to be a part of the mission. Don't just be a part of the club. I'm glad you're here, but I'm also recruiting you to be on this side of the mission, looking outward to reach more and more people with us. And being a part of the mission means that you're part of starting a second service to reach more people. So don't look at this as something that's happening to you. Look at this as something that you're doing. I'm contributing to this. This didn't happen to me. I'm happening to it. I'm making something happen in this community and in this world to reach more and more people with the good news of Jesus Christ. Guys, this is so cool to be a part of, and it's happening because of you. It's not happening to you. It's happening because of you and all that you're doing. Praise God for you. I thank him so much for you. If you're not already serving, I want to challenge you in a loving and a good Christian way to serve. Please be serving. Our kids team, it's going to need to double this year. If we're going to double our services, we have to double the kids team. They need you. And if we're going to reach more and more people in this community, we have to reach their kids first. And we cannot be on mission for our community if we're not on mission for the kids in our community. Please, I ask you to serve in that way. Or maybe for you it's the welcome team. That team needs to double. If you double a church service, you need a welcome team that also doubles in size, because we're not asking them to serve at each and every service, so they can't come to one to worship. Maybe for you, security team is for you. That team needs to double as well. And maybe you think about the worship and production teams. That team needs to grow as well if we're going to accomplish the mission to reach more people. Now, that one's tricky because it requires some skill. And maybe at one point in your life you had the skill, but you let it kind of put it on the back burner. But now God's calling you to rekindle the skill. Maybe it's an instrument. Maybe it's some kind of production technical skill. I don't know. But maybe God's calling you to sit under their leadership and learn that a little bit for a season as we grow into this next stage. And that's sort of what it looks like when we talk about discipleship. It's you growing under someone else's leadership, just like the 12 disciples did. That's what you're called to become. You're called to come and be a Christian, yes, and then you're called to grow in discipleship under someone's leadership, developing those gifts and talents that God gave you to put you on the mission field to reach more and more people. Guys, this is how you do it. This is what you're called to. I'm asking if you'll be a part of the discipleship path and just learning those skills and learning how to be a part of a team to reach more and more people for Jesus Christ. There's so much is happening because of you, and so much more is yet to happen because of you as well. If you're not already giving, I want to challenge you in a good Christian way to give. And when you give to New Spirit, you're not just giving to a church, you're giving to God. And all over history, God has required that his people give to him the first fruits of what they've received. What they've received financially and materially, they give the first fruits to God. And when you give, you're not just pleasing me, you're pleasing God. You're obeying him and his commandments to give the first fruits. And on top of that, when you give and pleasing and obeying God, you're also contributing to the mission of God. That's the really cool part, is to see what your gifts do in other people's lives and in your community and even in your own family and your own heart. Think of it this way. It costs about $850 a year to put a kid in youth group and through a youth group. And so, I might give $850, and I don't look at that as an expense out of my bank account. I look at that as an investment into a kid who needs Jesus on a Wednesday night and on these retreats. That's an investment. I'll do it twice because I want them to have that, and that's part of what's happening when I tithe and give. It's on mission to reach teenagers for Jesus Christ. Or maybe look at it this way. It costs $700 to reach a new family. When a new family comes through the door and we bless them and serve them and welcome them, that probably, if you add it all up and do the math, it probably costs about $700 a week for that new family to be reached. And now, when I'm writing my tithe, I'll write the check, and I'm thinking, this is contributing to that family and that belonging, and someone before me when I came was making that contribution to reach me. Now I'm making that contribution to reach them. I'm on mission with God as I give to the mission of God. Not only am I pleasing Him in obedience, I'm actually contributing to the mission and starting to see how this helped reach someone. This helped give a child a place to belong and grow. It's so cool to watch how your contributions and your gifts and your generosity bless so many people beyond ourselves. And I lovingly ask you to start giving if you haven't started yet, or maybe you started long ago, but you haven't changed anything. You make more money now. I don't know. But what's God calling you to do? Your income can help produce outcomes, eternal outcomes for people. And that gets me so excited as I give. And I ask you to be on mission with me in that way. Finally, if you're not already inviting, I lovingly challenge you to invite. Be on mission with your invitations. And sometimes I stop and think, what if Mark hadn't invited Cindy? It's a simple invitation, but if he had invited Cindy, what if now Cindy didn't invite her kids, Devin and Denver, and their kids wouldn't be here early on Sunday morning serving and enjoying the house of God and running around with a smile on their face. And it all started with that simple invitation. And now I get to experience so many blessings as they invite, and so much more is happening through that invitation. And then I think, what invitation did I miss out on when I didn't invite my neighbor? If I had done what I should have done and invited him, maybe who would he have invited and his family, and how many people would be blessed? But I didn't do it. I forgot, or I was thinking about myself. I was just trying to get myself ready Sunday morning, just thinking about me. But what would have happened if I had done that invitation last year? And what would happen by next year if I did that invitation today? Who would they be reaching and blessing with their invitation? And how many people would we be baptizing? All starting with that invitation to that person who needs to belong to the community of God. Let me ask you a question. Do you want heaven to be full?
Yes.
I want it to be crowded when I get up there. And it's going to be crowded up there when your church is crowded. When your church is crowded and we all move up there, it's going to be crowded up there too. I want it to be full in heaven. It's going to be full in heaven when we start inviting people to make our church full. That's how we start making heaven full. And it's not just about getting big with numbers. It's about getting big with names, because every number has a name that matters to God. And I want those names written in the book of life. And I want to see those names of people saved. It's not just about numbers. It's about names of people saved. It's about names of people who are loved, names of people who belong. I want to see names of people on mission, names of people in groups, names of people who are growing, names of people who are serving, names of people who are leading, becoming teachers, changing their lives. Every number has a name that matters so much to God. And in your life are so many names who've yet to be invited. I'm asking you to get on mission to reach the names that have yet to be reached. And in so many times, it just starts with a simple invitation. Please, I'm asking you, join this mission. It's not a club. It's a mission where you get on the other side of it and you start being a part of the outreach and what God is doing in this community and through you. I don't say this to guilt trip you. I don't say this to berate you and try and guilt you into doing all these things. I hope this inspires you, because so much is already happening through you and so much more can and will happen through you. That I want that to inspire you and fill you with hope as you come on mission. And if you're already been on mission, to come on to even a higher degree. And I'm just asking you to do something in faith. If you think you can do more, if one of those things I talked about, you think, oh yeah, I can do that. I can do more of that. I'm just asking you to do something in faith right now. If you would just pull out your phone, you can scan the QR code, you can type in the church phone number. It's just a text message, guys. Just type in these words. Just type in the words, I can do more. If you see what I talked about in serving and you're thinking, oh, I could serve. I can do that. I can serve. Just type it in. I can do more. Or maybe it's giving. Something I mentioned says, yeah, just type it in. I can do more. Whatever it is that you're thinking, I can do more. If you hear me talking and you're just thinking, I haven't been doing enough. I have been thinking about just myself. I have been doing a little bit, but not a lot. I have been withholding my gifts, my talents from God, and I can do more. Please just respond to this message by typing those simple words in. I can do more. I'd love to talk with you more about that and just respond and say, hey, how can we get on mission together as we grow this church, grow this ministry, not just for numbers, but for names. Because of you, so many names are blessed and reached, and I'm so encouraged by you. I'm honored to partner with you. I'm honored to be on mission with you. Because of you, so many lives are transformed, so many people are changed, and because of you, so many other people are thanking God right now, and especially me. I am thanking God right now because of you. Do you receive it? Amen. Do you receive it? I'm thanking God because of you. Receive that blessing. I'm blessing you. I'm thanking God because of you and your faith. Somebody here today, maybe it's you, I'm not sure, but you're hearing all this, and you're hearing me tell everyone here how it's such good news that we're reaching so many people, and such good news that you're here, and because of you, everything's good news. And you're thinking, I don't know where I'm at with Jesus. Like, I hear all this good news about other people doing things, but I don't even know where I'm at with Jesus. But there's good news for you too. And the good news for you is that because of Jesus, your sins have been paid for. Because of Jesus, the price has been paid. Because of Jesus, the door has been opened. I'm telling everyone else here, because of you, so much has been done. But if you don't know Jesus yet, I'm telling you this good news. Because of Jesus, he's made a way for you. Would you just say this with me? Just say these words. Because of Jesus, I am saved. It's really simple. Because of Jesus, I am saved. If you believe that today, will you just declare it with all boldness? Just say, because of Jesus, I am saved. I want to show you this verse. It's really, really important. It's from Romans 10. It says, if you declare with your mouth Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. For it is with your heart that you believe and are justified, and it is with your mouth that you profess your faith and are saved. That's why I'm asking you to say it, to declare it boldly. With your mouth, profess Jesus is Lord. Then you are saved. Maybe your decision today is to do more. I can do more. But maybe your decision today is just, I'm going to believe in Jesus so I can be saved. Maybe I just need to give you one more opportunity to declare it with your mouth and just say this. Because of Jesus, I am saved. And that might be your simple prayer of faith, simple prayer of salvation today. And your name's written in the book of life. And that's just your simple prayer. On January 26th, you said these words. You said, because of Jesus, I am saved. And let that be your simple prayer. Let that be your decision. And let that be the start of something new in your life. And let's just see what God can do in you this year and through you this year with that simple prayer. Can I ask you to stand with me? We're going to move back into a time of worship. And I just want you to ask yourself, what's my decision today? Like I said, we don't just preach for your information. Sometimes I don't even just preach for celebration. I really do try and preach for your transformation. Ask yourself, how am I changing? What am I deciding? What am I doing in light of these verses, in light of this message, in light of this mission? What am I doing? And as I walk off this stage, don't just think about something you learned today. Don't just think what you learned. Think about, what am I going to do about it?